Hello, my name is Andrew Funk and this is Alan Andrew. We're both Americans. He's more Catalan than I am because he was born here, and I've been living here for 10 years. As you can see, Alan wants to participate. Okay, I've been working in business development, communication, and language training for the last 10 years, and helping elite Spanish professionals improve their business. Okay, so how did I get lost and end up in Barcelona? Basically, I had a dream to travel around the world because I had just finished my degree as an English Lit major, and I wanted to be in Spain for 2 years, learn the language, go to France for 2 years, learn the language there, go to Germany 2 years, etc., etc. Basically, wandering around like a bum, writing about life and enjoying it. Then I realized that I needed a little bit more focus in my life. I started off as an English teacher in Esplugues de Llobregat, teaching for €4.15 per hour. If someone would have told me that when I graduated, I probably would not have gone to university because it's not necessary to go to university to make $4.15. After I was, let's just say, exploited for the most part because I was teaching 45 hours a week when the maximum was 25 hours. That taught me a lot about being consistent, working through hard times, because I knew I did not want to end up being an English teacher making $4.15 an hour. As I met new students, I had the opportunity to meet business professionals that were passionate about what they did and doing a lot of interesting things. So what I did was I used that as an opportunity to get to know them, and I became a sponge. One thing that I've done is always listen to other people. I've read a lot of books, but every time you speak to another person, they have much more information than you can ever find in one single book. So I used that as a way to learn what was going on, and I realized that, hey, I could travel to Turkey, Egypt, Eastern Europe, but at the end of the day, I need to have a base. And that's why I didn't move to France or Germany or Switzerland, and I stayed in Barcelona. After living here for 2-3 years and working like crazy as an English teacher, getting paid $4.15, I decided to move towards the city. So I went from outside to inside. Wherever you go, there's more activity and movement in big cities. So if you're an entrepreneur, it might be interesting to find a nucleus where you can feel comfortable and find other people doing what you do. In Spain, I think people have the mistake of thinking everyone should go to Silicon Valley, or trying to make Barcelona Barcelona Valley or Silicon Valley. You have to be yourself and find a way to be different. What I did was I found business professionals that were making a difference in the world, and I helped them translate what they wanted to say in Spanish into English. As a result, I built a school called English Metas, and what I did there was basically find a way to help business professionals by offering them a mixture of linguistic training, coaching, and consulting. As time passed, I worked as a business developer in an investment firm for 2.5 years. I've worked on 2 government projects. I've built a communication department for a multinational company. I've done events, I've done a lot of different things. But the focus has been very clear. I want to make a difference, so that way, well, the best way to explain is I said, either I'm going to write a great book, or I'm going to have a great life and someone will write a great book about me. The concept behind moving around trying to find yourself is I only need to move from the States to Spain to find myself. Maybe you have to move around a little bit more. It's not easy to find who you are and what you do, but eventually you do. And how do you do that? What I did was I traveled around. I've been to 43 different countries. I spoke to a lot of people. I listen, even though it seems like I don't listen sometimes. I'm constantly speaking to everyone because I think anyone from the woman who cleans the street to a politician who's trying to make an important change, everybody has valuable advice for you to listen to. So I've been here in Barcelona for the last 10 years, and I've been able to grow. This is supposed to be a base for me, so that way I can travel around the world, because I would like to feel at home any place in the world. So, the word entrepreneur kind of annoys me right now, if I have to be honest. But let's just say entrepreneur is a state of mind. So when you're thinking about how to improve the user experience to make sure that the client, the supplier, and employees in the company are as happy as possible. So I think everyone has an opportunity to be an entrepreneur, although it's not necessary to say you are one. It's a buzzword that people are using now for people that are unemployed, in my opinion, for the most part, but looking for a change. So if you ask me what entrepreneurship means to me, I would just say it's an individual who's trying to make his life a little bit better by making others a little bit happier, without slapping them in the face, obviously. That would not be a good entrepreneur. So if you want my advice or opinion, if you want to know the definition of entrepreneur, go to the dictionary. If you want to know the reality of an entrepreneur, go to the street or to the top of a mountain. You can ask your son. If anyone has a child, they know that building a business is not quite as difficult as raising a child and a family. So entrepreneur is just a state of mind that that helps you not cry when a breadstick falls. Okay, so I think that's good for the moment. But entrepreneurship, working hard, struggling, fighting to reach your professional and personal goal, and creating the possibility to make other people happy. I think that's a good definition. And I think my son agrees. Well, my first big sale. I guess the first sale I made when I came to Spain was getting a job. I got a job in Esplugues de Llobregat, and I remember having to walk through empty streets on a Saturday morning. I felt like it was in a grade B movie. But I had to sell myself, and get my first job. So I remember that quite well. I remember thinking, okay, I'll accept whatever they pay me, which I guess is a good plan. As long as they pay you more than €1 an hour, it's better than working for free, no? So that's my first minor sale. But when we think about my first big sale, it was probably with the government. It was called Investment Readiness, and it was with the Departement de Ocupación. It was to help 69 new companies that had just been created based on technology. I was really excited because it was a first big sale, let's just say over 20,000 euros. It's not bad when you have a small company and you start to move professionally. So I was excited the first time I made the first sale. I told all my friends about it, and then I realized how much work I had to do. So the first sensation you have when you make your first sale or big sale is probably some form of ecstasy without taking the pill, and really being excited about what's going to take place. And then you realize what you just accepted, which is the fine line, fine dark print at the bottom of the page, which means you have a lot of work in front of you. After I worked for 3-4 months, if I'm not mistaken, it was very satisfying and fulfilling to do a job, something I really enjoyed, because as an entrepreneur, you have the opportunity to say yes or no to work. And that means that you make money depending on what you do and how much you love doing it, which I think is an important thing too. One thing you have to realize about your first big sale or first sale is it has to go to the next sale. So something I learned in business is that when you make one sale, you have to be prepared for the 10th sale after that. You have to understand the billing cycle. You have to deal with clients and customers and suppliers and make sure that the money moves appropriately on time, and that what you do today will affect what you do tomorrow. So what you have to do, besides be a little rock star, is you have to make sales that make sense. At the beginning, when we're younger, we have to learn how to say yes to everything. As we get older, we have to learn how to say no. So when it deals with sales, at the beginning, I'd recommend saying yes to everything as long as they pay you. Keep in mind that you really shouldn't do anything for free, in my opinion. At least charge €1 per hour. If you don't think you're worth €1 per hour with what you're doing, you should probably do something different. Okay, so value your time, because if you don't value your time, nobody else will. So when it comes to making sales, understand your clients and understand that if they pay you 100 euros, it means they save 1,000. Okay, so a sale is just a solution you're offering to another person so they make more money or save money as a result of working with you. So I try to remember every sale I do. All the clients I work with now, and for a while, are clients that I want to work with. So keep in mind when you make a sale, it's not as common in Spain, but make sure you have a good contract and you know what to expect. Because if you don't prepare an appropriate contract and agreements with the people you sell to, you could have problems in the future. Okay, so to lower your risk, make sure that you understand what you're providing and the risks that takes place when you do that. Okay, so remember your first sale, but you should never forget it, but remember that it's only one step in a very long marathon that should take place until you're 65. If you're more successful, maybe you can stop before, or if you love what you're doing that much, you can stop much later. So, at first, failure looks tragic, looks like the world's going to end, but in the long run, failure is something that teaches us what we did wrong and how to improve it, and it's just one step along the way. So if you trip at the beginning of a marathon, it's okay because you still have a few kilometers left to run. So a failure for me is just something that happens on the way to success that you don't want to happen. So everyone's going to fail and everyone's going to succeed. So don't cry about it and just keep going. All right. If you're still watching this video and listening to what I have to say, it means that you're doing something, but you're probably being a little passive right now. So the best thing I'd recommend is to press stop as soon as possible, turn your computer off or leave it on, open up a Word document, grab a piece of paper, whatever you want, start writing down your plan. There's an expression in the US military which is, if it wasn't written down, it didn't happen. So think about what you're going to do, write it down, make a clear plan, and then make it happen. Thanks for listening to me. I hope my advice will help you and to be a doer, because there's nothing else you can do. Bye. There's nothing left.